Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel, TammyTalks here. Let's talk Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7, Episode 12, Mic Drop. Before we get started, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a super relaxing, pleasant, safe, healthy, wealthy, all that good stuff holiday season because it's over. And we are back to work. Some of us tomorrow, some of us Tuesday, but work is coming. The holidays are over, but I hope everybody had a really, really good holiday season. All right, so let's get into the episode, y'all. So it starts off with Karen. So she's with Ray, and she's going to the venue that she is going to have her live show at, the Grand Diamond Friends. This variety, improv, whatever type of show this is supposed to be. So Matt is there because Matt is the producer of the show and he's going to be going over the show with her. So Karen is excited because the venue that she's hosting it typically is only comedians have things going on there. So Karen is excited and honored that she is one of the first people or the first person to have an event there, and she's not a comedian. So she's excited. She's excited about that. While we're talking about the show, Ray is confused. Ray doesn't know what the show is. When Karen is in a confessional, the producers are asking, so like, is the show Matt's idea or is it yours? Karen said that it's her idea, but Matt is producing it. I'm calling bullshit. This is Matt's idea because I think we know that Matt doesn't really get along with Giselle and Robin. This is Matt's idea. You can tell it's not Karen's because Karen didn't have any ideas during the initial meeting. This is all Matt. This is what Matt wants to do, what Matt got going on, which is fine just be real with that. But if it's not really your idea or whatever, just be real about that. So Karen is even kind of snippy when Ray is like, whatever the show is about, because Karen is like, I know what the show is about. Matt knows what the show is about. No, you don't, Karen. No, you don't. But okay, whatever. So then we get to Mia. So Mia and Gordon are reading a bedtime story to their children, Juju and Jeremiah, trying to convince these little bad kids to go to sleep. They want to stay up and play. Mia's like, no, you guys can get up and play in the morning. Kids never want to go to sleep when they're supposed to. Not a surprise there. So Jacqueline comes over. When Jacqueline comes over, they have this like weird seating arrangement conversation. So they go to sit down in the living room. It's Jacqueline sits down in the middle. Mia's on one side of her. Gordon's on the other. Gordon is clearly bothered by the seating arrangement, right? And they're like, what's wrong? Do you want to switch seats? Mia's like, do you want me in the middle? And Gordon's like, well, no, I don't want to sit in the middle of you guys. It's fine. But it's like, no, you got an issue with something. What is the problem? Gordon is weird to me. I feel like he goes on these extreme highs and lows where initially, like when he's drunk, he's a perv. He's pervy. When he's sober and around his kids, he's one way. When he's with other, like, he's just weird. It was a very weird vibe conversation. So they then talk about the podcast and how Giselle was asking if Robin had ever slept with, if Jacqueline had ever slept with Gordon. And again, it's a very weird conversation where Mia's making these faces, almost like Mia is trying to like make eye contact with them to be like, don't say this, don't say that. That's the vibe it was giving, kind of on some, I really don't want to let anybody know on this, like, I don't want to let the show know what we really, really be doing. Like, Mia wants to keep things a mystery, it seems like. So they then start to act like it's normal that they shower together, which is weird to me. So they're talking about, we shower together. We like our water the same temperature. And we do this together. We're not hooking up. It's normal. We're comfortable with our bodies. It's a great view. That shit is weird. No matter how you look at it, no matter how y'all try to phrase it, that is not normal, typical friend behavior. I have been friends with my friends since high school and college, and even before then. I have absolutely no desire to take a shower with them heifers. I don't understand why they are trying to make it seem like it's normal. It's not normal. This is not typically what friends do. So stop trying to, when people say stop trying to make fetch happen, okay? Ooh, shit. Stop trying to make fetch happen. But that's not what how typical friendships operate. It's just not. So they then talk about how Giselle and Robin were asking about the Porsche. Mia is blaming it on the fact that she said that she drank a little too much, but they were asking like, how does Jacqueline have this Porsche? Now Jacqueline was like, well, I was tight for money while I was going through this separation, and like, yeah, you might have given me a down payment for the car. And again, Mia is back there like, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't. Like, basically on some, y'all blowing up the spot. We got to keep our story consistent. And it's not consistent when everybody is talking about everything else that, basically that Mia has already said didn't happen or did happen. So my whole thing is, I'm sorry, but if you need help for a down payment for a Porsche, you can't afford a Porsche. That's how that goes. If you could not afford with your own money to go into your bank account or swipe your card or wire your money over or get approved for that loan, your ass don't need to be driving a Porsche. Point blank, period. Gordon bought you that car. Gordon bought you that car. No matter how they want to sit there and lie about it, I'm sorry, but Jacqueline didn't buy that car herself. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that. Because, everything about this scene was very cringe to me. Very cringe, very weird, very, ugh. Like, was it weird for you? Am I the only one? Wasn't it weird for y'all? So Mia is just like, oh, but they just want Gordon to be their sugar daddy so that they can get a Porsche. They're trying to figure out how they can get on next. And I'm like, I don't think that's what's happening at all. I don't think that is what is happening literally at all, Mia. I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. So then we get over to Ashley. Ashley's out to dinner with what she's calling the PYT crew, which are her real friends and not the women on the show. So she's out with these ladies, and it's Deborah, Jules, and I don't know if they said the other woman's name. I didn't catch it, but Giselle comes. Now, we know Deborah as the woman that was at the spring fling that is saying that Chris was flirtatious with her. He was leaning on the bar and that type of stuff. That's Deborah. So Giselle gets there, and they're taking shots, and Giselle is like, we've been taking some shots, we've been drinking, we gonna talk now, y'all. Let's get into it. So while they're talking, Deborah said that Chris came over to her while she was at the bar, and in Deborah's mind, Deborah said that she was like, oh, hi, I'm Deborah. Chris said, hello, I'm Chris. Oh, my husband's name is Christopher. Yeah, there's a lot of us. We're kind of all the same. Production said, roll that beautiful bean footage. Get into it. Production plays the scene, and we hear Chris just say, oh, okay, yeah, it's a common name. Here's the thing. I think production is releasing just enough right now to protect Chris. I'm not saying I think Chris did anything by any means, because I don't think that Chris would be bold or stupid enough to blatantly flirt with other women directly at a party where not only that where Candace is there, but like a cast party like this that's being filmed. But for the way that production keeps posting these things, and it's like Chris not looking, and it's literally the 2 or 3 seconds in that time span, it's a little misleading. And I say that because when you think about when they first had this conversation, and production was making it seem as if Chris never talked to that woman at all. Anytime they would show footage, it would be Chris literally just looking at his phone, not even looking up and making eye contact with her to throw off the story. So it makes me wonder if production does have something that they're going to air like at the reunion or at another time, because they're really spoon feeding what happened at this party. I'm also wondering if production somehow has the footage of Giselle and Chris's conversation or whatever happened with that. But the way that they're seemingly protecting Chris or making it seem as if Chris didn't even like glance at these women, like just in, normal, as you're walking, you see somebody walk by, you kind of look up. Like they're making it seem as if Chris the entire time was like this. Production has something that they're waiting to release. So Deborah then said that Happy Eddie came over and she said that Eddie was flirting. And I'm like, okay, all right. So Ashley says in her confessional that her friends don't lie. Deborah does. Deborah does. Deborah lies. So Deborah then wants to talk to Chris or Candace. And I'm like Giselle said, she's not going to let you get close to her husband. And she's not going to talk to you herself either. So Ashley feels that she owes it to Wendy to let Wendy know that Eddie was flirtatious at the spring fling party. And I'm like, okay. I feel like this entire season so far has been about, oh, this person is flirting and this husband is flirting. And like, it's taken away from like the actual drama with the ladies that we could be focusing on. So we get Wendy. She's at home with her family. She's going stir crazy. She's not used to like being at home doing nothing. So the fact that she has to kind of scale back and relax because, you just had kidney stone surgery on 2 of them, and she doesn't know how to handle it. She's bored, basically. So she talks to Eddie and tells Eddie that she had a lunch with Ashley the day before. And during that lunch, Ashley told her that her friend Deborah felt that he was being very flirtatious and they were calling him Happy Eddie. And Wendy said, okay, what is the issue? What exactly did he say or do? Ashley said Deborah told her that he was just smiling a lot. Smiling. He was smiling a lot. Because he was smiling, that's flirting. Bye, Deborah. Bye, Deborah. Bye. Bye, Deborah. We're good. Bye, Deborah. So Wendy and Eddie are like cracking up at that. And Eddie was like, I can't smile at folk no more. All right. Like, it was just a very stupid conversation. It's just like, Ashley, what are you doing? Do you not have a storyline? Do you not want to focus on the fact that you're getting a divorce? Like, what is like, this is wasting airtime, to be honest. So then we get a scene of Mia, Giselle, and Robin. They're out getting breakfast. They talk about how they haven't seen Mia in a while. Mia said that her son was sick. He was a little hurt, some little teenage boy problems, but they got it all straightened out now. He's good. Giselle then brings up how Karen told them that Mia has looked up inside Jacqueline's snatch with a flashlight. And Mia looks shocked. I mean, you told us too, because you said it on camera, so... Excuse me. They also bring up everything else that Karen said. So Karen said that, you used to that you were messing with Peter's ex-girlfriend, and Mia was like, well, I didn't bring it up because it wasn't relevant. Giselle was like, bullshit, girl. The entire time we were down there, everything focused on Peter. You were going so hard on Peter. So then Mia said that girl happened to be in her wedding party, and at Gordon's bachelor party that Mia crashed, she was there and she gave she gave Gordon like some foreplay, and she basically just played with him that night. Bye, Mia. I'm sick of Mia. I'm sick of Mia. You're doing all this oversharing and you're mad that Karen repeated something that we heard on camera. Please don't bring Mia back. Don't give Mia, what do they get? Don't give Mia a champagne flute. She don't deserve it. So Mia then said that she will not be telling Karen anything else. She said, because what if she were to tell them why Karen does not like Sharice because she knows the reason? And they were like, oh, she was the reason. And she's like, no, I'm not going to say anything, meaning she's going to wait until the entire group is there together, including Sharice, so she can say it then. So we get to Karen, the day of Karen's show. As Giselle is walking in and going down some stairs, someone says to her, hi, Karen. Now, here's the thing. This is how you know that these tickets were given out, right? It's part of the gag. Just like the reasonably shady live show, I still do not believe that was a real show and that no one showed up, blah, blah, blah. Whereas this, you can tell all them white people there, all them white people in that audience, if one of your patrons that's there does not even know Karen from Giselle, stop it. And Giselle said very, very smoothly, oh, I'm not Karen, I'm Giselle, and kept on walking. So what we're supposed to believe is that one of Karen's guests that bought a ticket showed up but does not know Karen from Giselle. Okay. Ashley brings Deborah to the show. Girl, what? Why? Now, I don't care for Candace, but like, why would you want to rush her and bombard her at this show? Like, all right. We see over at Candace's house, she's eating before the show because she doesn't know if it's going to have food there. So it's a scene with her mom. Her mom is going to be her plus one. Neither one of them knows what the show is about. Nobody understands it. So for the people that were like, it made perfect sense to me, no, it didn't. And when Karen has described her show, it did not make sense. It didn't make sense. For the people that were saying her show is better than Giselle and Robin's, and I would go see Karen's first, it's not. Karen is hosting a variety show. Giselle and Robin are putting on a show the same way they do their podcast. You can't compare the two. Y'all be sitting deep in y'all bias when it comes to stuff like y'all ignore logic when it comes to it. So we get to the show. Karen is backstage saying she wants to make sure that her microphone is working. She's pointing out all the different things that went wrong at Giselle and Robin's show. Sharice is mad that she didn't get invited. Giselle lets us know. Well, Sharice, sweetheart, you knew you weren't going to get invited. You're not even a full-time cast member. So if somebody didn't bring you as a plus one, you weren't going to make it. And that's a Karen's event. So Ashley brings up Mia using the flashlight to look up Jacqueline's snatch. Jacqueline was like, oh, when I had a yeast infection, again, I don't want to hear shit else about this. I truly, truly don't. I don't want to hear nothing else about this. I'm sick of Jacqueline and I'm sick of Mia at this point. Robin walks in late as usual and leans over and tells Candace that woman that's with Ashley is the woman that's been spreading the rumors about Chris. And if looks could kill, the way Candace looks. Candace looked pissed, as she should have been. Because why did Ashley bring that lady there? So for the way that y'all be like, Candace, she gets the girls together, she reads. All Candace does is talk about people's looks. If all you have to fall back on is talking about people's looks in a confessional, you're not reading anybody down. Because when stuff happens in front of Candace, Candace is stuck in real time on the show. But okay, let's call the girl facially challenged and all that other type of stuff. I just feel like that's not a read. To me, that's not a read. But all right. So Candace in her confessional said that she does not acknowledge Muppets. Tells her to go back to Sesame Street and all this other type of stuff. So the show starts half hour late. So we get the lineup. It starts with the comedian who was not funny. The audience did not seem to be in it. Again, could be editing. I wasn't into the comedian. I just didn't think anything she said was funny. So Karen comes out, thanks everybody for supporting her. She's on stage, I think they said, for like less than a minute. Then we have a drag performance. Bravo didn't get the clearance to pay for that song choice. You know, drag queens typically during their performances, they mimic some like famous diva in her song, and that's what they perform. So we have to just, watch everybody else have a good time while we didn't get to hear it, but sure, that's fine. So then Karen comes back out with a different dress. She's changed. She introduces the sizzle topics. She brings two more people out, which I think was the comedian and the drag queen. I thought that's who that was, unless it was two different women. And the audience is asking random questions. Where can I go find a man? Karen was like, don't go to church because he's praying for a bunch of women to find him there. And I'm like, oh, you advising people go and find somebody that's one with the Lord? Okay. That's you're advising that they not do that? So she then says that she found Ray at the Black Carcass and that's where she can go. This was a white woman that asked this, mind you. So the next sizzle topic was something random. I feel like we didn't even really get an answer because then Mia stands up and said, what do you do when you share something with a friend and that friend runs her mouth and tells other people? Karen gets extremely defensive because she could have been talking, really the question could have been about Giselle's ass or Robin or Ashley or it could have been about anybody there. Karen says, Mia, whatever I said about you is the truth. I said, well, damn. You just broke the fourth wall of your show, huh, Karen? So Mia was like, well, if you're going to say something, don't tell these two. Giselle is like, because I tell it. We know. You talk too damn much. But hey, whatever. So then, it's just very weird. It's a weird exchange. So then in her confessional, Karen is like, don't come to my live show and try to ruin my show and getting all mad. Nah, Karen, Karen does not ruin anybody else's events. I'll give her that. But you took it personal. You know why? Because a hit dog will holler. That's why. Because nobody would have known that it was directed towards you in that audience, Karen. It could have been directed towards anybody at that VIP table. So we get another performance by the comedian, and they're showing the entire runtime that Karen is actually on stage. Not by the comedian, by the drag queen. We get another drag performance, which we can't hear because the budget didn't get cleared. So I think they said the entire show ran for 75 minutes, and Karen was on stage for about 30 of those, less than 30 of those minutes. So here's the thing. I know that y'all like to tussle on Twitter and in the comments when it comes to the Green Eye Bandits because y'all hate them versus everybody else. Anybody that says that they will go see Karen's show versus Reasonably Shady, that's not a dig though. Because unless you listen to the Reasonably Shady podcast, you wouldn't go. You know what I mean? Karen's show, of course, is more, I don't even know if entertaining is the word, but it's a variety show. So you're going to have performances. You're going to have all these different things. I just kind of feel like in the people that were like, oh, where they're being haters, they're doing the same shit that Karen did at theirs. The exact same shit. They didn't have out big notebooks saying, oh, God, this is terrible. Everybody's just saying, we thought Karen's ass would be on stage more. Karen is just the host. They didn't say anything negative about the show. They said what everybody else at that table was saying. Confusion. We are confusion. So at the end, the show was over. Ashley introduces Candace to Deborah. And Candace was like, oh, this is the one that was making the remarks about Chris. How was Chris being flirty? And the woman was like, Deborah was like, he was leaning on and he kind of brought his elbow close while he was talking. And Candace was like, oh, girl, that's enough. I've had enough. Because, again, wasting airtime. And this is just stupid. Let's just be real. This is absolutely stupid. So Candace is like, I'm not going to sit here and entertain this. And Ashley is like, well, you're dismissing my friend. Why are you dismissing my friend? She wants to have a conversation with you. It's like, Ashley, are you drunk already? What the fuck do you mean? Why do you think that she's going to want to talk to this woman when you bring her into this setting and you basically bombarded her and ambushed her? Why would you think that Candace wants to talk to this woman? Let's use both sides of our brain sometimes. Both of them. And then that was just like Candace leaves. And that was basically that was the episode. Nothing really to it. It wasn't boring, but it certainly wasn't overly entertaining. I'll say that. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode down below. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, thumbs up the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.